one. Oh, well, Aaron, the clip show's been so successful. I've got a new name called Racing Extra that we've now changed it.
Yeah, we sacked it.
Yeah. So rather than one big long bits, we're just putting them up individually. And this is the review of the mounting yard from Saturday at Rosehill Gardens.
Yes, it was an exciting day for me anyway. The day where I could strike back to form.
Yeah, you did. I went out the back door, but anyway, it's back to Randwick on Saturday and looks like good fields on Saturday. Anyway, we'll start with our review of the key runners. The first couple of races, not a lot of relevance. I suppose the only horse you would say is Centre Pivot, but from all reports it's going out to the out for a spell now to come back for the Magic Million, so there's not really much point talking about that.
Yeah, he finally looked like he was ready to...
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was. He still did look like he had a bit more up his sleeve and was going to be better on a dry track as well too.
Yeah.
But anyway, race 3 we saw a very, very, very nice looking horse in River Wild start the shortest price of the day and just didn't work.
Yeah, he's caught wide. Things didn't go his way, and yeah, there's different factors. Some people thought it was too short. Some people, regardless, didn't live up to its SP.
No, exactly. Well, paraded the way looking at it in the parade, it paraded like $1.80 chance.
Well, it paraded perfect. It paraded like $1.10 chance.
Yeah,
he looked outstanding. Where he goes from there, I don't know. I guess he's just got a race sense.
I think he goes to Newcastle, get a bit of race sense, but yeah, he's disappointed. But this, for his first hit out in town, things didn't go right. But he's too nice of a horse to sack off that run.
Oh no, I wouldn't be sacking him. Those perfect rules are you should always give him one run.
Yep, absolutely. Wooding Mountain, a horse you've liked from day one from the trials. Look, he paraded fit and healthy, but he also looked like he'd benefit from the run.
Yeah, he definitely looked like he'd improve from the run. He's big. He still quite looks a bit gawky and he's still a little bit out of proportion.
And I think he's still got to be better on a dry track too.
Yeah, I think so. On his look, you'd say so.
Yeah. So plenty of upside there. And Devil Hawk's another horse that'd be better on a dry track, big horse. And
well, he is related to the Hawkspur. And
four white feet, Aaron, which a lot of people would say is retardation. But But anyway.
Yeah, everyone's saying he's related to Hawkspur, he'll handle the wet, but I'm not convinced that that's going to be his go. His trials on wet tracks, they've never been as good, and I think getting back to a drier track, he will improve.
Yeah, no, when they're that type, I don't care who they're related to or whatever it is.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
You're not going to sack them until you actually see them on a wet track. So anyway, but going forward from that race, Wooding Mountain's probably the winner has to be it. But then again, as we're just saying off air, any horse ridden by Hugh Bowman on the day probably gets 4 ticks.
Oh, big time.
Yeah, it was a bit of an advantage. Race 4, Magic Hurricane and Silver Ball fought out the finish. It was a case of going into the race whether you wanted to be on the fitter horses in Spur Tonic and what's our mate name? Beyond Thankful, or the classier horses in Magic Hurricane and Silver Ball. The race wasn't run all that quickly, and that set right up for those two, which did come away and put a gap on them, and class prevailed. So no real surprises, but just depending on which way you'll lean.
Yeah, I thought the Magic Hurricane was probably just a smidgen, a little bit more forward than the other horse, and when they got to that duel, I think they probably showed out.
That's right. Yeah,
wasn't necessarily the better horse. I think he was just a slightly fitter horse.
Yeah, I think you can make the comment for almost both of them is that they're both in very good health and order, but with still fitness to come. But Silver Ball probably just was at half a run behind Magic Hurricane.
Yeah, well, he paraded very fat first up, and he'd come on in leaps and bounds, but he still got leaps and bounds.
Yeah, that's right, exactly. Yeah, the feeling for that is it's probably even both horses. There's one more run until they're at their tops.
Yeah, at least one more run.
All right, the 2-year-olds, interesting race. We saw Exosphere come back. I thought, he's come back. I mean, he's a lovely horse, but I don't think he was the fittest horse in the race.
No, he wasn't the fittest, but I think for that O'Shea camp, it was rather forward for an O'Shea horse. And he is a big horse, so he would be a horse who'd take, I would assume, quite a bit of work to get fit.
Yeah.
And I thought for that stable, the way they've been presenting their horses, it was almost like he was forward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yep, no, fair enough, I know what you're saying. One who was definitely forward was Press Statement. I think he caught us all by surprise about how forward he was.
Yeah, I think part of it becomes to his shape because he's very athletic. He's not a really overly thick-set horse, so he mustn't take as much work to get fit.
No, as opposed to necessary.
Yeah, exactly. He looks rather forward, and I'm assuming that, like we thought, the Golden Rose is definitely his target.
Yeah,
he's got that Zoo Star appeal about him.
I would admit, definitely. I'd be surprised if we wouldn't be thinking from the yard he's right at the top of his game. in a fortnight's time or whenever it is for the Golden Rose.
Yeah, he's going to be very close to the
Japanese Me obviously got beat as even money favourite thereabouts. He looked at the top of his game. He was as good as he looked the last few starts.
Nothing had changed with him. It's same. His coat was fine. I don't think he looked dull or anything like that. I think going into the race, there was all the people that thought some of the classier horses were coming to meet him, in their opinion. And they showed up. They looked a little bit more forward than a lot of people probably would have thought. And they raced, and he looked a bit flat.
Probably a bit flat, yeah, exactly. I mean, and unfortunately, we don't get all the keys to the mounting yard, and sometimes that flat run they might look great, but that doesn't always show up. A lot of the time it does. A lot of the time it's in behaviour, and a lot of the time it is in a couple of things that we do look at. But this time wasn't the case.
No, I think the horse that won the race is rather smart.
Could well be. We'll see as it goes on. Out of the rest of them, for me, Holler needed the run as well too.
He out of the two,
and he raced on pace.
It was quite weird when you looked at what happened in the market, because you looked at the two O'Shea horses, and I was pretty sure he spoke to Mark Sheen. He goes, "How fat's Holler?" Where Exosphere looks relatively wound up for an O'Shea horse, but the market come in for Holler and Exosphere Blue.
Exosphere was just hated.
It was hated.
Yeah,
so it's quite odd where they from the parade it was the opposite.
Probably the best moving along from that, but. Yeah, so Exosphere definitely upside. Press statement should be right at its top for the Golden Rose. And after the barrier trial this morning in Vancouver, which everyone wants to tell you was awful, the Golden Rose is, I think Exosphere is a new Golden Rose favourite.
I said that as well. I wasn't out there this morning, but I'll be catching up with them this afternoon. So
Exosphere is the Golden Rose favourite. All right, probably the best parading horse of the day was a horse called Mahiri from a team that's going exceptionally well, Team Hawks. You can't really look much better than that first up, Aaron.
No, she looked perfect.
And especially for a filly, there's a couple of things we look at for fillies to be doing to show that they're really, they're switched on and they're in the right frame of mind, because fillies are fillies.
Yeah. She looked perfect. I even said to you, like, there's that big question mark with the stable going on, but she was out to $8. She looked perfect. You had to try and forget that. You had to have something. You had to at least have her chopping you out just for the way that she paraded. And we know when she is at her best, she's definitely up to that level.
Oh, for sure.
But
I know nothing went right for her, but
she still didn't show.
She was entitled to do a little bit more. The way the Sultry filly just pushed her out of the way and said, "Lead me right," and she just said, "Lead me right out of this." Yeah. And the worrying thing about that is, as I think I said on the punter show, Aaron, was that we saw the Hawks camp at Randwick where this really came to fruition. They were giving themselves up in the yard. Now the worry is, we've seen a couple of them, Lake Geneva the week before, her Mahiri this week, is that they're actually parading well, so they're now becoming more confusing.
It's becoming quite weird, because then you're looking at the Melbourne camp, and the Melbourne Hawks camp's going good.
Yeah, that's right. But they're saying virus or something like that.
Well, I'm assuming that I know it went through, I think, Gerald's camp a little while ago, and I went through Bjorn's camp and a few. It could very well. It has to be something going on.
But as I said on the punter show, as punters we're entitled to know that, and I think we're entitled to our stewards to have a look at that, to find out what is actually going on. Let us know and say, okay, there's a virus gone through it. This has been the virus. This is what it does. So this could be the long or the medium-term effects to what it can have effect on the preparation. Under duress, these horses may not stretch out. That's the theory, and I think that might be not a bad thing for a steward to investigate, to show some initiative.
Oh, of course. They need to figure out what's going on, because they're obviously a stable that can train a lot of winners.
Oh, that's right, exactly right. Sultry Feeling resumed once again with that man Hugh Bowman, and looked to resume quite well.
Yeah, she definitely looked like she was going to improve from the run, but she was forward enough. She's actually, one thing about her, she was a little bit gawky herself and hadn't grown into her body last week. She's come back a lot bigger, a lot stronger, and almost looks like a new horse. She's a lot stronger, bigger. Darcy
Wood was a horse that we mentioned out of that wreck at Randwick a few weeks ago for the Hawks team. We'd said that he'd gone back a couple of lengths off that, and it looks like I had left early for the... I'd left after race 7, but from your reports, Aaron, that Darcy Wood, again, didn't look like he'd done a lot of work between runs.
He's kind of done the countryman thing. He got there to a day where... Well, he didn't look perfect on the right day, but he looked very healthy.
For a first up 1,000 metres, I'd say close enough to.
Close enough to perfect, and then his next run was disappointing, but there was reasons for it at the same time, but he also didn't parade. Like, he'd gone back, it looked wise, and then he's paraded again on Saturday, and he just looked like he'd lost another half a length of length.
Fair enough. So you're even saying even went further
just slowly tapering off, so... yeah, something's obviously not right in the camp, and something to keep a close eye on.
Yeah, and ins and outs won, as you'd expect. I mean, its main competition was Prince Famous. It's first up, both on paces. Probably not too dissimilar in ability, but you got a rock hard fit horse versus the other one. The other one gets away with it and says, "La di da, see you later." No surprise.
Well,
really.
a lot of
very
people,
very obvious after the race, that isn't it? No, it was obvious, probably obvious before the race, but that is the absolute rubber stamp after the race. Duh.
Yeah. He's kind of, a lot of people rubber stamp Gerald for having him wound up first up, still kind of their second up, and third just starting to taper off. He's been the opposite. He was quite big first up, run well. Second, he'd improved, and he just looks like out of
third up. He got it, but right at his top now, and that's not
right at his top. And I don't think he will taper off.
Well, the good thing,
he's got a big horse, and he's still holding condition.
Yeah,
well.
and without seeing the sectionals, just looking at the eye, they look like they've gone slow. So I don't think they're going to. It's not going to be an overly taxing run for him.
Yeah, no.
Fair enough. All right. Well, out of the weekend, I mean, it's pretty much. I mean, they're the main ones going forward with them. But I think we can say that as far as the Golden Rose, which is the next big race on the agenda, as far as these group of horses are, that you're going to have. Exosphere is probably still going to be. He's not going to be the rock hard fit in the horse in the race. Still, I wouldn't have thought, and the other one will be Press Statement.
No, he shouldn't. I'm totally agreeing with that.
Yeah, but I'm not saying that doesn't mean he's not going to beat him again. But I'm saying it'd be surprising to see that Exosphere be right at the top of his game in a fortnight after from where he's sort of coming from.
I think he'll definitely be close enough to win, but
whether I'm not saying that.
He's not going to be peaking.
Yep.
But it kind of looks like we've been rubber stamped down to 3 key chances in Vancouver,
Exosphere,
Press Statement.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, we'll see what happens this weekend.
We've still got to see another week, but at the moment it kind of looks like there's 3 heads there. There's nothing else.
The alternative form, the Nick Ashman form of what's its name that won the other day? I can't even remember it. Gay's Thing in the Guru colours.
I can't remember.
You know, the two. It was the 3 that Nick was talking about from Track Work, the most proved horse of all time.
Oh, Speak Fondly. You can.
Yeah.
If it's in the race, I'll be surprised.
Yeah, fair enough. All right. Yeah. Okay, well, mate, that is the wrap of the mounting yard from Roseville Gardens on Saturday.